you could not pay me at this current point in time to go back to having loose hair. Hey guys, it's Ifeyinwa and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Microlocs update. I know, how long has it been? I have not filmed a Microlocs update in a year. My last one was my 3-year update. I missed my 3.5-year update, and in all honesty, life was just really busy 6 months ago. But in this video, I'm going to give you guys everything that's happened over the past year. So you're gonna get all the information anyway. It's just probably gonna be a bit of a longer video than my typical updates are. So grab yourself a little drink and get ready to chit chat, okay? I'm gonna be holding this microphone like this for this whole video. I hope you guys don't find it annoying. I'm wearing a turtleneck and I don't know where to put this on. I picked this top because I wanted to wear blue and I didn't really think about a microphone at the time. So the plan for today's video, I'm gonna start off giving you guys my Microlocs FAQs, the questions that I get asked when I tell you every single day. I'll have chapters down below if you don't want to hear that. The second portion of this video will be my 4-year update. And then at the end, I will answer all of the Microlocs questions that I got over on Instagram. Before we jump in, if you're excited, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you have Microlocs. If you do, how long have you had them for? If you don't, are you thinking about getting them? What do you need to know to help you make that decision? I've been documenting my Microlocs journey for the past 4 years and it honestly feels so surreal. It's a super sunny day in London and the sun keeps going in and out. The lighting will change. So that's another thing that I need you to bear with me on as well. Let's jump right in. So I got Microlocs 4 years ago. It was November of 2021. I had them installed in Lagos, Nigeria by a company called Eni Braids, E-N-I Braids. I will have them linked down below. I always have them linked down below. I started my Microlocs fully interlocked from root to tip. People ask me all the time what rotation I used. I do not know, and I will also tell you that it does not matter, okay? Your loctician will determine what the best rotation pattern for you is. It 100% has to do with your hair type, so that's not something that I would stress too much about. In all fairness, people might also be asking that because they are looking to do their own DIY Microlocs installs, in which case I don't know a lot about that. But I do have videos of my installation, so maybe have a look at those videos and see if you can find out from those videos what pattern they're using. That's about my installation. I live in London, so the company that maintains my Microlocs is Just You Hair Boutique. For the past 1.5 years, I've been working exclusively with Fenella. I think she's a great loctician. She's also the owner of Just You Hair Boutique. People come in my comments and say, I've been trying to get an appointment with Eni Braids. I've been trying to get an appointment with Just You. I can't get an appointment with them. What do I do? I have a whole video where I detail how I found my locticians, and there's a lot of detail in that video, so go check it out. Find one that has availability, find one that is close for you to get to, but those are the two that I personally recommend. Another question that I get asked a lot is what my hair type is. I was 100% natural before I got my hair locked. I had been natural for, I don't even know how long. I want to say maybe 10 years at that point in time. I have very fine hair, very curly hair, and my hair type is 4A, 4B. I've had people argue with me about what my hair type is. A trichologist told me what my hair type is. The hair towards the front of my hair is looser than the hair towards the back of my hair. Because of that, I've had a lot more issues with slippage towards the front of my hair, whereas the locks at the back of my hair are not slipping at all. People always want to know pricing. I got my Microlocs installed 4 years ago. If you know anything about Nigeria, you know that the pricing of everything has at least tripled from then to now. It's insane. Even Just Hair Boutique has had a price increase recently. It's just the way of the world. I still think that they're very much so worth it. 4-year lock update. You guys tell me what you think the biggest difference is in my hair. My hair's grown so much. It is insane, honestly. I think the most growth I've noticed in my hair is probably year 3 to 4. I'm gonna try and have pictures actually of years 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, install 1, 2, 3, and 4. I can't even tell you, honestly, how grateful I am that I made this decision. I am the kind of person who doesn't really like to think about my hair, stress about my hair. There is just a part of my brain that I used to have dedicated to hair. And by hair, I mean, what's my next hairstyle gonna be? Who's gonna do it? Researching hairstylists, researching hair, paying for hairstylists, getting it in, maintaining your natural hair as well. Just the whole like hullabaloo of it. You could not pay me at this current point in time to go back to having loose hair. It's great, to cut a long story short. No regrets. All praise be to God. Having said that, sorry, my back. I need to, get a pillow. Having said that, I have had issues with my locks. My biggest issue that I've had with my locks is an issue that's been prevailing since the very first day I installed my locks. And like I mentioned in the intro, it has to do with the fact that the hair in the front of my head is very fine and it's also looser. So it's prone to slippage. So if you don't know what slippage is, it's when your locks unravel. And that's something that I'm still dealing with to this day. And that's primarily because of my hair type and also because I'm washing my hair a lot more than I was previously because of my dry scalp issue. So that's the second issue that's worth highlighting with my Microlocs. So I've had issues with my scalp since my Microlocs journey. More recently, I've been thinking about, have I always had a scalp issue and I just didn't notice it because I was, using oils and butters and lotions and all that when I had loose hair? Or have my Microlocs kind of caused my dry scalp issue? I don't really know, but you guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I do think that in the immediate to short term, that's probably something that most people experience. But I clearly have been dealing with this for the past 4 years, so I wouldn't say it's like a normal thing in my case. My dry scalp issue basically presents itself as patches of dryness, I would say, around my scalp. Oh, that's one thing I need to update you guys on. So during my last Microlocs video, I told you guys that I had seen a GP. No, I filled in an e-consult form. It was something like that. And they told me to upload pictures of my scalp, and I did. And I had literally a 2-minute conversation with the GP, and he just said, you have seborrheic dermatitis. I think I know how to pronounce it now. And for me, I was just never really comfortable with the diagnosis that I got because it was super fast and I wasn't very happy with that. So when I got to Nigeria, I saw a trichologist. And if you guys keep up with the vlogs, you would have seen that vlog. I documented that whole experience. The trichologist that I saw, her name is Ifeyinwa, and she owns Tresses Lagos. She's been working as a trichologist in Nigeria for over 10 years. So I trust her 100%. She looked at my scalp, she looked at my hair, and she told me that she didn't agree with the diagnosis. She didn't think I had seborrheic dermatitis, but she did think I had a dry scalp issue. And fortunately or unfortunately, depending on what your perspective is, the treatment is essentially the same. It's just that the diagnosis of one is different from the other. So with seborrheic dermatitis, doctors will tell you that there's no cure for it. You're always going to have to deal with it. Whereas with dry scalp, it's something that can be managed and get better, essentially. One thing I will say is I spoke a lot about stress and how stress was impacting a lot of things for me, actually. It wasn't just my hair at the time. It was also impacting my weight. It was also impacting my skin. I say all that to say that a year on from that last update, my scalp is doing a lot better. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that my scalp is 100% fixed. I wish I could say that, but that's not the case. I still have dry scalp issues or challenges from time to time, but it is so much better now. Before, I was only washing my hair at Retie, so every 6 weeks. Now, I wash my hair every 2 to 3 weeks. Ad break. All of my jewelry that I'm wearing today is my jewelry line. It's called House of Aiden. These are the Miriam earrings. This is the Florence ring. This is the Yasmin ring. A Doha bracelet. And these are the rose bangles. I'll have everything linked down below. We ship worldwide and we cover custom fees to the US. And depending on when this video goes out, we might still be running our Black Friday promotion. So go check it out. So these are the products that I was telling you guys that I use on my hair. This is the Inner Sense True Enlightenment Scalp Scrub. This stuff is finished. Like, I need to order some more. It is so good. I probably get about 2 uses out of this whole tub. So that's probably a reason why I'm also kind of not doing as often as I should, because it's kind of expensive. I pay about £30 for this tub. However, I used it yesterday and I tell you, my scalp felt so good. I mixed this in with this shampoo, which is the ketoconazole. shampoo that I get from Boots because it's way more affordable from Boots. And I create a paste and then I just apply it to my scalp and I really take my time. I work in sections, I massage it in, and then yesterday I left it on my scalp for like an hour and I just went about editing and just doing stuff around the house, and my scalp felt so good. The more I think about it, like logically, if there's dry skin on my scalp, you kind of have to like exfoliate that away. It feels so good. Like this scrub has a really nice peppermint cooling sensation. I need to stock up. Like I love this stuff so much. And I also really liked the Sacred Scalp shampoo. I almost feel like that would probably do the same thing as this, but then I also need the medicated shampoo, so it kind of makes more sense for me to just make my own paste. And also, this is like turning into a whole thing, the Sacred Scalp scrub shampoo, I just don't like the applicator of it all. Like it's just not really nice. Another thing I've started using during my wash days as well, so after I'll do the scrub, and again I only do the scrub like once every blue moon, on a normal day I will just wash my hair with this. First 1 or 2 washes with that, and then when I'm convinced that my hair is clean, I also will finish off with this. This is the anti-dandruff moisturizing shampoo by Care. Now this shampoo also has a really nice pepperminty tingly feeling, but it doesn't leave my hair feeling stripped, if that makes sense. So I like to finish off with this because this I find is quite drying on my hair. So eventually I will get to a point where I'm washing my hair like every week and every 2 weeks, and I suspect that will actually fix whatever's going on with my scalp. But at this point in time, I'm doing every 2 to 3 weeks. And the main reason for that is finding that balance between having a healthy scalp and maintaining the integrity of my locks has been quite difficult. So my hair looks really neat today because I had a retie yesterday, and that was on purpose. Like I wanted to film this video when I had just had a fresh retie, because the truth is my hair will start to look a bit, I don't want to say rough, but just not as neat in about a week or 2. And that's usually around the time when I will wash my hair. And then after I wash my hair from that first wash, my hair already starts to slip. Like it's crazy. It's not bad. It starts to look bad to me around that 3-week mark. And that's usually when I try to get an appointment at Just You just to tidy up the front of my hair. I've only been able to get one of those appointments once this whole year. Like they're very, very, very busy, which again just shows how good they are. And now that I have a job, I'm not as flexible with my time either. So this hasn't really worked out well, but that's what I would like to do. Another thing I've been using on my hair in terms of products, Old Faithful. I've gone back to the Heritage Store rose water and glycerin. This is actually a face mist, but the ingredients in here are really good. It's literally just water, glycerin, rose extract. That's all that's in here. I stopped using the Just You hair mist, not because there's anything wrong with it. I actually really love the way it feels, but it has some oils in it, and Coinsala had mentioned to me not to use any oils on my scalp, so I'm just following the doctor's orders. She's not a doctor, I'm just saying. And that's pretty much what my hair update is. Let's do the close-up now. I'm gonna put you guys down. Those are what my ends look like. As you can see, my hair is still not fully locked in terms of my ends. They're still kind of loose. My ends are still kind of loose. I hope you guys can see. Still have curly ends. Not really much to report in terms of changing texture, but they are a lot thicker, especially my locks at the back.
Wait a minute, all good just a week ago. Crew at my house and we party every weekend. So on the radio, that's my favorite song. Make me bounce around like I won't be here long. Now the thrill is gone, got no patience, cause I'm not a doctor. But why is you lying? Or why you move faster? Yeah, me casa su casa. Got it spit it like I got so high on volcanoes. Now the flow is so lava. Yeah, we spit that's a life. iPhone got message from Viber. Either the head is so high, or we let bygones be bygones. My God, you pay for your friend. I'll take that as a compliment. Got a house full of homes. Why I feel so the opposite. Incompetent ain't that half of it. Saturdays with young lavish. The saddest shit is I'm mad as if these things took from the cabinet. Sorry, I'm just scared of the future. Till 2005, I got your back. You can do this. Hold up.
That was the best I can do. I'm filming in a very like confined space. I kind of really like this length. It's a very manageable length because right now my hair is quite layered. Naturally, I haven't actually cut it. So what I think I would really like in terms of my length goals would be like when I bring my hair forward, if my hair was like down here, I think I would be done. Because then I would be mid back length. I think in my last video I said bra strap to mid back length would be my goal. I think that's still my goal. But right now, honestly, you guys, like this is hands down the longest my hair has ever been. And I still can't believe it sometimes. Sometimes I look in the mirror and I'm just like shook. It just goes to show, you know how people say black people's hair can't grow long? Obviously, ignorant people say that. I should probably have said it that way. It's not true. The truth is our hair just breaks a lot easier because of the nature of our hair, because our hair is curly and curly hair by nature is drier and it breaks off easier than straight hair. That's literally the only difference. And because with locks, there's a way to just circumvent that whole breaking process. You're able to retain length a lot easier. It just goes to show. It's honestly amazing. In case I haven't said it enough, I'm so grateful that I locked my hair, you guys. If you're on the fence, do it. If you do it and you don't like your locks, you can always undo it. People comb out their locks after years and they're still able to retain some length in their hair. It takes a long time, so I'm not going to sit here and make it sound like it's this really easy process, but you can comb out your locks. Try it is what I would say. I also wanted to answer some of your questions. Again, I got these questions on Instagram. Lots of people complaining about how Just You does not respond. I have given Fenella this feedback, so I don't want you guys to feel like I'm laughing. So there's a booking number, and I contact that booking number sometimes myself and don't hear anything back, and I'm just like super persistent. Also, if you're not getting any feedback on the booking number, try calling the salon sometimes and just like explaining your situation, and then hopefully they can escalate it. It shouldn't be that difficult, and it is feedback that I've given Fenella, as I've said. Someone said, how do you keep your locks moisturized? I don't know if you guys want to be anonymous, so I'll just say someone said. All the products I showed in this video are the only products that I use. That rose water is what I use. I try to spritz my scalp every day to every other day, especially now because it's winter. In terms of my actual microlocs, I don't do deep treatments. I don't do anything like that. I just wash my hair and I use that moisturizing shampoo. How often are you getting your reties now? I'm on a 6-week schedule. Ideally, I would be on a 6-week schedule with a 3-week check-in, but that hasn't been happening because of scheduling conflicts. How do you leave your hair feeling soft? Mine feels too hard. If your hair feels hard, it's probably dry. So I would say spritz your locks. I would also consider conditioning your locks. I think the last time I did a deep conditioner on my locks was maybe the last time I went to see Kointola. I think she did like a detoxing treatment on my locks. But I say all that to say, I would consider doing a deep conditioner, but make sure you use a conditioner that's not too heavy. I bought the Sacred Deep Conditioner and it was so heavy, it actually weighed my locks down. So I think you need to use maybe like a light conditioner, like what we would typically use in our loose hair is like a conditioner after the deep conditioner. That's probably what I would use as a deep conditioner now that I have locks. So like a really light, thin conditioner that you can rinse out quite easily is something that I would do. And also consider leaving it in your hair to sit in your hair for a while and then rinsing it out. But you don't want to do that too often because the thing with locks is a lot of those things can sometimes work against the natural locking process. Definitely don't do this if your locks are not mature. I also have tried hot oil treatments on my locks. I liked that as well. Someone said, any tips to flourish during the ugly phase because a girl is 4 months in and I'm done. You guys know how I feel about that term, the ugly phase. Well, maybe you don't know. I reject that term, the ugly phase. I know it's something that people use to speak to the first 6 months of your locks journey when your locks are still settling in and they look quote unquote ugly. I reject that phase because I don't think your locks look ugly when they're settling in. When I first had my locks installed, they looked really thin and they were really flat And it took some getting used to, especially if you're the kind of person that's coming from, having extensions, being used to seeing yourself with a lot of hair. It does take a lot of getting used to, of course, but that doesn't mean that you're ugly or that your hair is ugly. So first off, I would say reframe your mindset and just tell yourself, this is not ugly, this is just different, and I'm beautiful regardless. It does take some getting used to. I'm not gonna sit here and act like every single day I was so happy with my hair, but I never, ever, 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 ever would want anyone to refer to their hair as ugly. A second thing I would say is a lot of the time it's the lack of volume, also possibly the lack of length, but predominantly it's the lack of volume that bothers people. I think I had washed my hair and I left the braids in, because in the beginning stages you have to braid and band, and I pretty much mistakenly did a braid out on my locks, and I loved the way it looked. Like, it gave me a lot more volume, and I remember just feeling a lot happier with the way that looked on me. So that's something that I started to do more often. But I would never, ever, ever, ever recommend that anybody cover up their locks with wigs or put braids on it or do extensions in those early days, because you need your locks to settle. So you kind of just have to ride it out. Another thing that you could possibly try and play around with is hair accessories. So hats, bows, scarves, things like that. Get yourself some hair clips from House of Aiden, some hair ties. Playing around with jewelry, playing around with your makeup, all that stuff takes away some of the, oh my God, I don't feel pretty, in quotation marks, feeling away, So that's what I did anyway. And as well, if you've made it to 4 months, please don't give up, because my hair anyway started to thicken up a lot around the 6-month mark. So you're almost there. When did your locks start to thicken? I've had mine in for 7 months and they're still thin. That's so funny that that's the next question right after I've just said, wait for the 6-month mark. Everyone's hair is different. That's one thing I will say. My friend Uju, when she got her locks installed, her hair was already thickening up after the 2nd or 3rd month. It usually has to do with the texture of your hair and also the installation method. So if your hair still feels thin at 7 months, I would probably say that you didn't interlock. That would be my guess. Or maybe you had relaxed hair. That's another thing to pay attention to. Ultimately, everyone's journey is different, and you just kind of have to ride that wave. I never would think that I would be making a 4-year Microlocs update telling you guys that my locks are not fully mature. But actually, I think that language is wrong. I think my locks are fully mature. I think the way my hair texture is, some of my hair is just never going to fully lock. I just embrace the way my hair is naturally, and I hope and pray that you're able to do the same. I tried twice to reach out to the lock place and they've stopped responding. Honestly, I'm going to forward these messages to Fenella so that she sees them. I'm assuming that's the place you're talking about. I've already given advice on that. If you're talking about any braids, because I don't know where you're based, any braids, I think they're a lot better at getting back to people. The problem with any braids is that they're just always fully booked. That's another issue. With any braids, whenever I'm going to Nigeria, as soon as I have my flight booked, honestly, after I tell my family I'm coming to Nigeria, I call any braids. And most times they'll tell me that they haven't opened their calendar yet, because they open their calendar, I think, 30 days in advance. And they'll come back to me when they've opened their calendar. They almost never remember to come back to me. When I tell you I hound people, I am a professional hounder. I put reminders on my phone to reach out to these people. If they're not responding, I have the privilege of knowing a lot of these owners now, just for the fact that I've been hyping their companies up for the past 4 years. I will escalate. I will literally be like, these guys are not responding to me. Please, I need to see you. I need an appointment. And I know not everyone's able to do that, but I guess the advice I'm giving here is that I just keep hounding people until they come back to me. Should it be that hard? No. And I have told Fenella especially that I think she should open up an online booking system, but there are issues that also come with that. And because of how long lock appointments take, having flaky people can really mess up your business, in all honesty. So it's tough. It really is tough. But all I can say is just keep persisting, and I will give both companies this feedback. Someone says it's been 6 months and I'm wondering why I locked it. Every retie hurts. Wow. Oh no, this is actually someone that I know personally. Your retie should not be hurting. Actually, let me backtrack. If you are someone who is tender-headed, you will not like reties. Let me just call a spade a spade. I've never been tender-headed, but there is a level of discomfort that comes with the install process, first of all, and also reties. You have to think about the fact that microlocs are really small and you're tugging at your scalp essentially in really small sections, whereas with like braids or cornrows, like you're tugging at your scalp in the same way, but it's over bigger sections. So in a way, it's kind of like the tension spread out, if that makes sense. I personally have never had a retie that I would call painful, but my friend Uju, who I've actually mentioned before, she has told me that her reties are painful. Now, Uju has 2 or 3 locticians doing her reties at the same time. I think that also is probably why her reties are painful, because again, you're like yanking your scalp different directions, multiple people, and everyone's hand is different. And by that, I mean the way everyone's hand feels. You know, sometimes when you get braids, some people's hands feel soft and other people's hands feel tough, if that makes sense. So with reties, I personally just prefer to have one person. When I had my install, I had 3 people, and I definitely felt that to be the quote unquote most uncomfortable experience. I say all that to say I would only have one person doing my reties, maybe take a paracetamol before and after my retie if it's something that's causing a lot of pain. And also I would talk to my loctician about it because it shouldn't be that painful. So potentially they could consider retying not as tight. So if maybe you have, I don't know, 4 or 5 rotations worth of regrowth, tell them to do 3 or 4. Like, tell them not to retie to your scalp. Tell them to leave it a little bit loose, I would suggest as well. And if it's still hurting, try a different loctician. Because like I said, everyone's hand feels different. So you might find someone whose hand feels a lot softer for you. I really enjoy my reties. Like even yesterday when Fenella was retying my hair, she was like, oh, sorry if I'm being a bit rough. And I was like, honestly, it's fine. I don't have any discomfort with my reties. So there's that. But I will say that they retie hair a lot tighter in Nigeria than they do in the UK. Maybe I'm just used to Nigerians, so whatever they do here just isn't painful to me. Have you ever considered coloring your locks? I have no interest in coloring my locks right now, but it is something that I might do in the future, maybe, potentially. But right now I like the color of my locks, and I think I've spoken about this before. A couple of my friends who have colored their locks have told me that it changes the texture of your hair, and I'm not looking to change the texture of my hair. So I would possibly play around with a spray-on color before I considered properly dyeing my hair. This person says, I got my locks because of you. Thank you for inspiring me. 1 year and 6 months in now. I'm so happy to hear that, and I hope you are enjoying your locks. She also asked me, do you plan on ever coloring your locks? You guys have to tell me why you want to know. Like, are you thinking about coloring your locks and you're waiting to know if I'm going to color my locks before you decide to color your locks? Because if that's what you're doing, please don't wait for me. I don't really switch things up a lot, in all honesty, and that's possibly why I love having microlocs. Like, it doesn't bother me that I haven't changed my hair in the past 4 years very significantly. If anything, I think that's why my hair is doing quite well this year, because I haven't really done much on my hair except for that one time I had crochet installed over my locks, and I had that styled in for less than 2 days. I think I've said everything I have to say, and I know this is going to be a really long update. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Like I said, let me know where you are on your journey. Let me know actually if you're not even considering getting microlocs, but you just watch these videos anyway. That would be so interesting to know. I'm going to end this video here, and if you have any questions, leave them down below and I will do my best to respond to them. I think someone's going to ask me as well how many locks I have, because I get that asked a lot and I don't know if I remember to answer that in the beginning. But I know I had about 550 locks at installation. Since then, I've lost locks. I've had new locks installed. I think actually the last time in Nigeria, I had one of my reties, my loctician counted my locks, and I think she said I had about 540. But Fenella has definitely restarted new locks, so I would just still say 550. If you made it to the end, you must be interested in a little bit more than my hair. So make sure you check out some of my other videos. I post vlogs on my channel every other week, and I really want to start doing more like creative storytelling and just, you know, making my vlogs a lot more cinematic and stuff like that. So let me know what you guys think. And also I'm on TikTok and Instagram if you like short form content. Don't forget to check out houseofaiden.com. I'll have everything linked in the description box. And yeah, that's enough rambling from me. Stay blessed, stay safe, and take care. Bye.